And we're live. It's actually about, I looked it up, about the same price, about $1,000 here. And if the plane ticket's $99 plus $77 for the vasectomy, $33 profit.
Yeah, but this way I get to see Australia.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, they won't let me in. It's okay. It's a no-go.
I thought that's what they were founded on.
I think they would let criminals just roll in there regardless. Like you would have to be a criminal to come.
That's my family is convict stock. They're like full on criminals.
That's the statue outside of Australia. Give us your arsons, your murderers, your lawyers, your loiterers. Yeah,
you loiterers.
Like unarmed combat, like the Purge, but we don't have any guns, so we just all beat the fuck out of each other with our fists. That's how it works.
Eventually, you guys will get your guns back.
I have guns. Like we have. All of my mates have guns. Like everyone's always like, "Oh, Australia doesn't have any." Like, but everyone I know has guns. It's just
how do they get it?
Well, they're legal. You can purchase firearms. It's just that you need to get a license before doing it. So it's basically like the license. I'll say you need a gun license, and Americans are like, "What?" But it's essentially just a pre-background check. So you just go, and once you get the license, that counts as a background check, and then every thanks, baby. Every time you want to go and get a gun, you just rock up and just get one, and it's the same as America. So it's like, it's just that they've never tried, so they don't actually. They just see the law as like obfuscated, and they see it as difficult to get a firearm, and so they're like, no, you can't. No one can have them. And it's like, man, like all of my mates have got like multiple, like 10, 20 guns easily.
Can you get fun guns like AR-15s and?
Yeah. So the main thing is it's like you need to have a reason that they call like a legitimate reason, but it's like if you own like farmland and you need to like varmint hunt to like get rid of rabbits, you just get an AR-15, but no one uses it for that. Like people just go and fucking blast off AR-15s for fun. And
which reason did you use? That one?
Well, so mine don't sit. Those ones don't sit under me because they're with my. What are you doing? Sorry, I was getting attacked by the dog. So those ones don't sit with me. They sit with other people that have massive amounts of land and then have what's called a primary producer's license, which is like for shooting for people that are like farmers and stuff like that. And so they have all those under their name. And then for me, I just have like targeted sports guns. So I have like a 12 gauge and a 22 Magnum just for varmint hunting and skeet shooting. And taking like I get pistols, you get everything that you want. You can get a 50 cal if you want to. It's just like people don't actually care to look into it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, you can get a license here for a fully auto gun, but and I think it's also like kind of easy, but it's expensive. Of course, it's expensive to shoot. You can spend more in ammo than a non-shooter might guess, but it's also like every year you have to pay. Kyle would probably know how much it is, but it might be 4 digits. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, fuck. So like when they did the weapons ban in Australia, I'm pretty sure that everyone just like was like, oh, I lost my AK, because like it's always like, oh yeah, no, they all got handed in, but like there's no fucking way they did. Like
I'm torn. Like I had a bump stock, and then Trump made bump stocks illegal, and at the time Kyle was going through legal problems. His guns were all legal, but I guess he got in trouble, and then suddenly even his legal guns caused him extra trouble because they acted like the guns were related to the marijuana somehow. And I was like, this
like if you have that license, is it so that from what I understand, it's FFL, like production and manufacturing, to own firearms. That opens you up to like be tried under federal crimes that would usually be state crimes, from what I understand.
That sounds pretty close. That could be it. But anyway, I
about that before. They're like, I can get it, but it also gives the whatever the fuck you call them, the tobacco and firearms guys, the ability to just come and storm into your house whenever they want without a warrant. So people are like, I don't want that. So.
Yeah, so I just got rid of my bump stock because I don't need the trouble. Yeah, you're right. Like I don't want to lie about it, because what happens if they come in here for some reason? right? What if I just get swatted? I don't know, and then that leads to a search, and then a bump stock turns up. Like, just fucking owning illegal guns. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let someone else.
I have heard of people owning them before. I don't own any myself.
Hmm.
Obviously, like all my firearms are registered. I just like, yeah, I don't think it's like that hard. Like, if people really want to get them, it seems as though it's pretty trivial, to be honest.
I would bet. Yeah.
Even the modification of like I have a what we call in Australia like a straight pull shotgun, which is under like an easier category to get than a pump action, but it is just essentially a pump action shotgun. And you could modify that to be a pump action, but it's easier to shoot than a pump action. So I don't know why I'd modify it. And I'm sure you could, with if you really, really wanted to, you could probably put like a gas impingement system on it and make it into a semi-auto. But then it's like,
what's a straight pull shotgun? I've never heard of that.
I'm not familiar with that either.
So it's like, you know how you have the charging handle on like a Benelli M3? It's like, instead of when you shoot it, it doesn't cycle. So you shoot it and then you cycle it yourself. But it's like, so it's essentially a pump action. So it's just exactly the same thing, but it's called a straight pull because the action isn't a pump on the front. It's just the same as
like a bolt action shotgun. You have to
I
come
think
up
the
with
AR-15s
but it's not a bolt. It's just it's straight pull. Like,
it's very similar to a bolt. It just doesn't go up, right? Maybe.
Well, you just pull it straight back and then you let it go, and then it's ready to fire again. So it's like a spring-loaded bolt action.
What is it called on an AR-15? A charging handle, I think. Yeah. So it's like a charging handle, right? You shoot and then you manually.
Yeah, I was looking at. I designed an AR-15 that we were going to produce and try to sell in Australia once. That was a pump action AR-15 to get around the semi-automatic stuff.
Pump action AR.
Yeah.
You could do. There are straight pull, essentially a pump action AR-15s in Australia. You can get really easy, but I think like a lot of the time, like the extra amount of effort that it would require and money it would take to purchase that is not worth it when you could just get a bolt action. And most people, their family have owned bolt actions that are perfectly functional and they just continue to use them from like the 70s, so they just don't care. So I think that's the main part of it. Like, everyone just has family guns it down, and like some cunts come home from Vietnam with an SLR, and they're just like, it's just sitting around the house, and they just don't care about it. So it's like, they take it out and shoot it once everyone's drunk or some shit like that, and then they just put it away, and it doesn't see the light of day for the next 4 years.
So a lot of guns seem to be.